And how do I make, so that's the live picture there. And how do I switch it again? That one there. Okay. So this one here is your one? And that's the back one. Oh, we're moving. Are we live? Yes. Oh. And a very good Saturday morning to you. Welcome along the Clarence 100 2023. Damien Fisher with you on Clarence Media. And also a very good morning to my co-commentator. He's a legend in the football field, legend in the city, and of course, apparently an award-winning paddler, Joe Fay.
Good morning, Damo. How are you, mate?
Mate, I am absolutely fantastic. What a view we have up here on this magnificent catamaran thanks to Big River Glass.
Wow, isn't it fantastic? And I imagine it's a little bit more interesting than your normal studio you sit in when you broadcast on a morning.
Absolutely. This is the life. I think I could come and do the breakfast show every day from up here.
What a great idea.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. And the great thing is I might just get you to move this way, Joe, so we don't the picture of the camera. But it is a little bit breezy up here, isn't it?
It's a little bit cooler than I expected, but doesn't it look fantastic from here? There's lots of colour. Yellow boats, green boats, red boats, grey boats, white boats. It's a fantastic setting.
And the great thing is, this Clarence 100, you would know because you've done this many a times. I've been told, and a winner, I believe, as well. But they tell me this could be a grueling stretch of the mighty Clarence.
Oh, it is very tough, particularly if you get the wind and the lower stretches. They've changed the course a couple of times insofar as they go the north arm some years and the south arm some years. So from Brushgrove to Maclean, if you're in the north arm and you get that headwind, it is very tough. But it should be nice today. There's not much wind about.
And the beauty of this thing, the Clarence 100, Joe, is the fact that there's all different paddlers. We've got people that are standing up on their boards. We've got people that are in their kayaks. Just to go through some of that for us.
Well, we've got a couple of outriggers. You see these boats just here, the double outriggers. They're pretty stable and they'll go hard all day. We've got the stand-up paddle boards. That's a difficult thing to do, I'd imagine, at any time.
Absolutely.
Particularly for 4 or 5 hours. You've got your racing ocean skis. They're the ones with the words Fen or the V8s on the front. And then we've got the couple of kayaks right up the front, the K1s, which are probably the fastest vessels out there. And they've taken off at the start. Ben Sullivan, our course organiser and originator of the race, has set them on their way, and we'll be crossing to Ben live, I understand, throughout the course of the day.
Every 15 minutes, Ben's actually got a camera on board his jet ski, and we're going to be catching up with him throughout the course of the actual live stream. And the course that we're doing today is going from the Prince Street boat ramp through to, we're going to disembark at Brushgrove, and then we're going to get in the Loving Life Grafton Toyota RAV4 and go down Big River Way in the car, and then meet the competitors down at the Maclean Rowing Club. And you can see some of these front row paddlers at the moment. They're going quite fast, aren't they?
Oh, they're feeding it at the start, mate. They've really taken off. It's very important for the competitive people to make sure they get some clean water, because if you get stuck in the wash at the back, you can lose your way a bit. The water's not as clean to paddle in, and you find yourself drifting back. So you'll see them form an arrowhead formation. The fastest bloke will be there, and the other couple of people will be sitting on his wash trying to get a ride, so to speak.
Obviously, we're quite some distance away from the actual paddlers themselves on this catamaran. Obviously, any whitewash from the boat could actually be detrimental to them.
Oh, it certainly would be. And if I look back there at the start, someone's come a cropper already. And they're struggling to get back into their boat. So, not the greatest start. They've lost their jockey at the barrier, I think, by the look of that.
Oh, I can see that too, actually. But it's good to see one of the competitors has stayed behind to make sure that they're okay.
That's right, that's right.
So, I think Ben was saying there's about 90 competitors that are taking part this year.
Yes, and I think at Brushgrove, a couple of them doing it as a relay, so there'll be a couple doing the first 20 kilometres and changing over, and then the other pair will be doing the next 20 kilometres. As we go past the new council walkway, which has recently opened up on the riverbank here, that goes from the Crown Hotel down to Euston Place. It's been getting a fair bit of activity since it's been opened up.
plenty of cyclists and walkers and people doing their exercise now that daylight savings begun.
Yes.
And Joe, tell us a little bit more about the event. We were talking to Ben on the radio, and you probably know the backstory. It was just a couple of mates getting together, having a 40-something birthday up on the Clarence, and decided to do a bit of a paddle.
Yes. Well, don't believe everything Benny tells you.
Is that right?
No. But there was 18 of us the first day. He'd organised.
Oh, so you were part of the pack?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, there was a couple of old surf club boys, although a lot of Grafton people were in the surf club over the years, the Yamba Surf Club and various other surf clubs. And Benny organised it, and I think there was Ben, there was Bob Hyatt, whose place we'll go past. He was a great paddler, ended up being in the Manly Surf Club. There was Mick Herden, who's in the race today, Brett Patricks, who's also in the race today, and those two are the only two blokes who paddled every leg of every Clarence 100 since it started.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's amazing, because it's not an easy task.
Oh, no, mate, I've only done it in its entirety once. I've done the first leg a few times because it's a really pretty leg to do. But Pato and Mick have done it every year, every leg. Who else was in it that year? I think Greg Goodwin. He was a great Iron Man when he was in the Yamba Surf Club back in the 80s. He competed in a few Coolangatta Golds and was in the Nutrigrain Ironman series for a couple of years. Adam Sydenham, Greg Coombs, Greg's brother, and our Dennis Boyd, our skipper for today. He paddled the first day.
So we've got a few people on board the boat that have done this trek.
Oh yes.
And they've obviously taken the easy leg this year.
It's a great leg to take.
And we've got to say a big shout out to Adam and the team from Big River Glass. I mean, this is Adam's boat that we're on, and I mean, how good is this? I mean, you could not get a better way to bring the Clarence 100 live stream.
It's fantastic, and it's great to be on this boat some Saturdays or Sunday afternoons.
Oh, you're a regular then, are you?
Not as regular as I'd like to be.
And our great partners for today's live stream, I've got to say a huge thank you to the Crown Hotel, one of the big sponsors of the Clarence 100, along with our partners that we've teamed up with in the Brushgrove pub. Pam Hatter is there on a Thursday night. I was sort of down that way on Thursday, and I got to hear her belting out a few tunes, so a big thank you to the team at the Brushy pub, along with the Maclean Bowling Club. They've jumped on board as a sponsor of today's live stream, and also the Yamba Golf and Country Club. So a big shout out to those guys. Of course, Clarence Media and 103.1. And thank you, Joe, for giving up your Saturday to come down and take part in today's live stream.
My pleasure, Damo.
And the great thing is that when you get out on the river, I know I've never actually been on the river before now. And
really?
Yeah.
How long have you been in town?
This time I've been in town for about 5 years, and then I was here about 25 years ago and working for 2GF, and never actually come out on the river, would you believe?
Wow.
I know, it's...
Well, you know what, on a Saturday morning, as we go past the sailing shed there's a group of kayaks that are purchased by the Big River Canoe Club, Gavin Raywood, as they've got 4 double skis and a couple of singles, and the School of Arts, the Sky Seer organised, has got 4 double kayaks as well. So Saturday mornings, a group of blokes or ladies, whoever wants to come and use the club equipment, and we go for a paddle around the island. Or
fantastic.
So 7:30. Anyone wants to come down, especially you, if you want to come down.
Joe, I had a look at some of these paddles, and the weight that I've got back on me after my operation was quite has been quite extensive. So I think I'd tip over. A few more walks along that beautiful walkway, I think we'll be okay.
Righto.
So, well, you tell us about some of the paddlers. I'm going to get in contact with Ben and see if we can get things underway with a live cross.
Righto, we've got 3 paddlers out the front. They've created a fairly sizable gap early in the race. We've been going about 1,500 metres from the start. I think that's Murray Davies, paddler number 122, and Dmitry Medvedev out in front. They were fighting out the finish yesterday. They both came in around 3 hours and 10 minutes from the Coppenhurst to Grafton leg, which is extremely fast. Not as fast as Mick Herden's record a couple of years ago when he came in under 3 hours. The third paddler there, I can't quite see who it is from here, but they're paddling nicely as they go past Adam Sydenham's house, actually. He's building a new house on the river over there, where he normally parks his boat. And they're paddling strongly. Behind them, I can't quite see either, but they've trailed off nicely. There's a big line of paddlers now, all the way back to the bridge.
Yeah. We've just been advised the speed we're going is flat out, so I think, will we beat the paddlers, do you think, or will they beat us?
Depends if the boat knocks up, the paddlers won't.
Yeah, true, very true. Now, I can see Ben on the jet ski, and I'm just trying to get a feed through to him on his mobile phone, but don't seem to be able to get one. All these great plans, they say. Ben says, call me on my mobile, and I've just called him on the mobile. Please leave a message. So can't get through to him, but he's obviously the organizer of this event. He's got some great helpers as well, and you know, an event like this can't go ahead without some great organisation, and obviously it's great that, you know, you can have this event on the Clarence River, especially when we had the unfortunate cancellation of the bridge to bridge.
Yeah, well, the Clarence 100 is probably now the premier aquatic event for the Clarence this year. It's certainly got a lot of numbers of paddlers here, and more importantly, it's great for the community, because what do we have, about 90 paddlers here. They all have a place to stay on the last night. They all went out for a feed and a few beers last night. They'll do the same at Maclean tonight, and they'll do the same at Yamba on Sunday. So it's a great contribution to the community, both financially and people getting to see the beautiful river.
Few stragglers behind as they start to come under the new Grafton bridge, and we're keeping pace with the actual front runners, and they've really left the pack behind, haven't they?
They look like they mean business today. They're a long way in front, and they're going very hard, but they're looking like they're paddling very nicely, and they seem to be taking turns at the lead, which is good as we go past the Fry Street boat ramp. Someone's putting their boat in for the day, taking the kids out fishing. You've been fishing out here, Damo?
No, I haven't been fishing out here, Joe. No.
Well, there's plenty of garfish in the river at the moment. I saw a few the other day.
Right.
That means the river's pretty healthy when the garfish are about.
We are so blessed to have such magnificent facilities on the Clarence, aren't we?
Oh yeah, mate, it's a cracking morning, but I suppose every morning on the Clarence is a cracking morning.
All right, we've now got a live feed to now. Just
3 minutes to go.
All right, let's cross now live to Ben Sullivan, who's on the jet ski, and we've got to let you know that this is the very first time in history that we've done this.
All right, good morning, folks. Any of the listeners out there that may be tuning in for our live stream today. My name's Ben. I'm on the jet ski,
Where we're going.
and I'm attempting
There
to.
on the jet ski, and he'll go up to the front runners of the pack and have a bit of a chat to them, hopefully. And
There's one of our sponsors, Mark Hackett from Post Espresso. Oh.
we're laughing because we're trying to hold on. Where's Mark Hackett?
He's on his back lawn there on the river.
There he is.
With his dog Charlie.
His dog Charlie. You know everyone, Joe. What's the go?
A new house coming along here. It's just finished here. There'll be a new resident in Dovedale soon. I'm not quite sure who that is though.
All right, now we're going to have a bit of a close-up of the competitors.
Experienced paddler in surplus saving circles is on an ocean ski. There may be a slight advantage for these paddlers on the K1s,
Paddle this Clarence 100
but it's interesting to note that on the first day yesterday, which was also 40 kilometres, that Murray Davies was with them right up to the last 10 kilometres. Brett Greenwood showed his experience and exploded away from Dimitri in the last couple of kilometres to take out stage one yesterday by about 600 metres to Dimitri, then to Murray Davies.
Which one's that, Joe? Is that right?
What they're doing here for the viewers at home who don't really understand about kayaking is The boys are taking turns in the lead, much like we see on Tour de France, where the cyclists would take a turn in the lead, and the cyclists behind would gain an advantage by having the wind broken for them. Well, today they're doing the exact same things that the cyclists would do, except they're using water. And they're using a draft off the water to maintain their speed. What will happen throughout the day is these paddlers will take turns up in front. I'm not going to get too close to them because they do get a bit annoyed as I do upset a bit of their line. But they'll take turns out in front, and what that does is it maintains a very high speed. The speed at which these three in front were travelling today is...
shot that we've got. Doing a great job.
Yeah, they're going really strongly.
And we actually can see some paddlers that are coming in the wrong direction.
That's Steve and Leland Muir. They're doing the regular second.
Just get up a little closer. One of the things I want to point out to
than any person in history.
The way we paddle, we're using an enormous amount of body twist to accelerate that paddle through the catch phase and the power phase, and then finally through the exit phase. These guys have been paddling a long time, all of them. Greg Greenwood is a multiple world.
Been pretty dry there lately.
Yeah.
Since Mr. Galapagos closed the hydroelectricity scheme out there.
Mr. Williamson might be able to bring it back.
I have spoken to him about it, but he wasn't that hopeful. But it'd be great if the water could flow there again. That was a great tourist attraction. Brought a lot of people to the town, and especially the Coots Crossing.
Our executive producer's running around all over the boat, just making sure that we stay connected, but doing a magnificent job. And now, obviously, if we can just get a shot, I'll go back to Ben's shot. We can actually see from Ben's camera, we're coming up, and there's an island in the middle. Oh, now he's turning a bit, but we're going to basically go down the right arm. Is that correct? Right. Yep. Oh,
Whenever the Clarence was discovered around the 18, after Richard Craig had been down, Thomas Small came up with his family and was one of the first settlers here in the Clarence, and he had a daughter named Elizabeth, and I think his wife's name was Susan, or vice versa, and he named the two islands after his family members.
Is that right?
Apparently.
I'm holding on for my dear life.
They'll be very annoyed that I'm upsetting their
If I could just get apart from you that bag down there, Joe.
Nice water today. These jet skis tend to give off a bit of a wake. These things these boys are paddling are extremely
on the water.
It was much cooler than I expected.
These things these boys are paddling are extremely hard to balance on. It takes years and years of practice to get good at some of these racing versions of these kayaks. Sit on kayaks, or sit on rather than sit in, and these three in front are ocean skis. We've got Epic, NK, and
lots of nice new houses going up there, Damo.
Yeah. Beautiful houses on the water. Now, obviously, being on the riverfront, Joe, how did you fare up in the floods?
We're great. The levee wall is fantastic. It gets very close to the top, but you feel pretty safe. So, unfortunately, it didn't help out too much for the people downriver last flood, but in Grafton it works a treat. So if we look to the right there, we're probably, although we're level with Elizabeth Island, we're sort of just not quite at Swan Creek on the right hand side. We're probably about halfway down that straight from the Jacaranda Hotel to the little village of Swan Creek.
It gets very confusing for a non-river person or for a non-local to actually understand where you're going. Like I went down to Brushgrove the other day to work out where we're going to leave the Loving Life car, and I'm trying to ask my wife, which way are we going to go? And then you go over this bridge and you do this, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm confused.
We'll work it out as we go along. So along here we've got Kirsten Street on the left, Corcoran Park, beautiful down there at the moment. Expect a big crowd there today. Be nice and warm once this cool breeze disappears. There's another new house going up over there. Got some scaffolding around the...
Yeah. And on the 28th and 29th of October, Joe, there's the huge speedboat competition. The King of the Clarence, the $5,000 up for grabs.
Well, that'll be fantastic.
And these are the fast speedboats, not skiers. These are...
That'll be down here.
Yeah, down here, down at Corcoran Park on the Saturday of the Jacaranda, the 28th and the 29th of October.
Well, the Jacaranda Festival's looming as another cracker. Mark Blackadder and his team have really done some great work, and the Jacaranda Festival's looking to be another bumper Jacaranda Festival this year. Yeah,
you're not wrong about that. It's going to be fantastic to see so many more people, and the Jacaranda trees have already started to bloom.
I saw one out in full bloom the other day up at the hospital.
Yeah.
Hope it hasn't made its run too early.
Going down Jacaranda Avenue the other day, and noticed quite a few Jacaranda trees out.
Yes, indeed. Here comes Ben. Does he need something, or is he right?
Hang on, let me just...
Are there issues with the jet ski and the sound?
No.
No.
Can we hear him though?
No.
Can you give me a time for the next cross and I'll be in position? Okay. When? When?
5. That's right. We're just trying to organise a few things as we go. Got it. Just stay on that picture because I can't see. Got a few cameras that have gone a bit haywire.
It's okay. We're heading down now. We're just going past. Looks like Denny Eggins' place on the South Grafton side. Denny from the South Grafton. I think he's the firearms man over at South Grafton, there opposite the abattoirs. And they'll be going past the Atwater's house shortly, and then we'll be heading up towards Rob Heathcote and Carn Horn's place on the river. You know Carn? He's the manager at the National Australia Bank.
No, I don't.
No.
Might have to go and have a beer with him. Get a loan.
He doesn't mind either of those.
Okay, loans and beers. I like the sound of that.
Okay, just having a look through the paddlers list. There's a lot of Grafton people in the list today. I can see Jeff Broden, local waterproofer. He's an old Byron Bay Surf Club man, numerous Australian Masters champion in the board and the beach run. Brendan O'Mahony and his brother Damien O'Mahony, they're old Mary Street boys from years gone by. Damien, one of the fitter blokes in town. He might get the Clarence River Waterman of the Year award after joining us in the Round the Susan Island swim, which took place in March earlier this year.
Okay.
Yeah, we had 15 or 16 starters to swim around the island. That was a great afternoon. I see Dave Johnson. He's another St. Al's boy.
Give the camera a bit of a wave, Joe.
He's a teacher now at DeJohno. I see who else is there. Mick Hurden and Paddo. We've gone through those. And then we've got Craig Vipon's there. He's paddler number 103. He used to be a policeman here in town. Was a member of the Yamba Surf Club, and then he moved to Mooloolaba, and now he's a member of the Mooloolaba Surf Club.
Yeah, we're just pressing a few buttons to see if we can get some audio from Ben when we get there.
And Chris Goodall's out there. Chris has done a number of Clarence 100s. He really enjoys the paddling of a Saturday morning, and working for the government, he's found time to go on a Friday afternoon as well. So he's been putting in a few kilometres over the last couple of weeks to make sure he's fit and ready to do 100 kilometres from Coppenhurst to Grafton.
a new thing for the Clarence 100, but we're in the test phase. We haven't really done this before, but we're giving it a go, and we just hope that if there's any viewers out there that they're able to log in and
500 metres behind us there, Damo.
I was going to say, it's a big distance that they've sort of really spread out, haven't they?
It certainly has. There'd be 1,500 metres from the front runners through to the back pedallers at the moment, but there seem to be bright orange life jackets and bright green life jackets all the way along the riverbank at the moment.
All right, let's.
we've got an example over here in the green of the double, which is a touring kayak. The difference between a touring kayak and an ocean ski is that an ocean ski you actually sit on top a mold well, whereas with a kayak you're actually sitting.
I think he's talking.
Of a wing design, full carbon models, weighing in at somewhere between 500 and maybe 600 grams, extremely light. And there are different types of craft here. There's the ocean ski, which is slightly longer, a little bit narrower. Then we have what's called the spec ski. If we just look straight ahead to this pack. So let me tune out and go to the mothership for a second. Mate, how do I know if it's red, it's not, I'm not live? Working out how these live streams work. Yes, I was just discussing before that this event is open to all types of craft. It's open to all types of craft. We have the ocean ski, we have the touring kayaks, and if we're just looking straight ahead here, you can see a Fen. Now this fella's paddling a spec ski. Now they get that spec ski terminology from Surf Life Saving sprint races, and basically they're a sit-on carbon-made ski, and they're made to a specification. Specification is they have to be 18 kilograms as a minimum. Whereas our ocean skis, like this NK ski just here, and we've got Brett Patrick, I'll talk to you about him in a moment. He's on an NK, very, very good brand, and the distributor for NK is Australian Paddler Headquarters, if anyone wants one. He's a former Australian medal holder in the sprint spec ski racing. He's also one of the originals, and one of the originals is this event started back in 2014, and a group of fellas from the local area here decided to get together for a reunion, and rather than play golf, we decided to do something different, and we decided that we would go for a paddle, because we all grew up on the river paddling all types of craft. And we decided to paddle from Commonhurst to Grafton day one, go to the Crown Hotel, which is a fantastic hotel, by the way, in Grafton, on the riverbank, go there for lunch, have the night in Grafton. The next day we went from Grafton to Maclean and did the same thing at Maclean, one of the Maclean Hotel. And then on the third day, we paddled final 26 kilometres from Maclean through to Whiting Beach. And then we went to the Amber Surf Club and you know, it was just a fantastic thing to do. Someone saw the few photos that were put up on Facebook, and said, could we do it? And that's basically, you know, a whole bunch of people saying, could we do it? We'd love to do it. And we got together and we said, well, let's formalise this event up because it's such a good format. The format being that you can have a paddle, you can finish every day, sleep in a bed overnight, have a few beers if you like a beer or a glass of wine, and you can and you can have a great meal at many of the eateries in the Clarence Valley, and then wake up and go again the next day, but always going somewhere, from Coppenhurst to Yamba, the bush to the beach we call it. And this event has slowly grown over the years, and we get people from all over Australia, and international paddlers come out, they love it. And it's a great event. It's you know, it's something that requires a certain amount of physical preparation. If you're a new paddler out there learning, this is a great event for you to come along. We have all paddler types, from the advanced paddler type to the new paddlers. And you know, if you're out there thinking, I'd love to do something like this, well, this could be the event for you. 106 kilometres over 3 days, 3 stages. The people we meet on these events is just unbelievable. It's been a fantastic way to connect for a lot of people. And the good thing about this event is that the people who've done it before keep coming back to do it again. But also we get new paddlers every year. I'll just give these paddlers a rest from me for a moment, and I'll hand it back over to the mothership, Joe Fay, and see if he's got something that can give you a little bit of knowledge on paddling. Signing over to you, Joe. Okay, I just want to duck you behind this fella here. This is Chris Goodall. He's a local Clarence Valley boy, but he's not from the Clarence Valley. He's from the town of Catherine, up in the northern part of Australia. And Chris has been paddling for 15 years, and he completes the Clarence 100 every single year since its inception. He tells me a fantastic story, Chris. He grew up paddling on the Catherine River. And on the Catherine River, if anybody knows or is aware, it's currently infested with crocodiles. So paddling in Catherine, on the Catherine River, in a river full of crocodiles, teaches you to be fast. And that's what he's doing today. He's up there not far from the main, at least in the top half of this pack. So he's gone from crocodile-infested waters down to the beautiful Clarence Valley. And he's enjoying his paddling, and he's part of a midweek paddling group in the Clarence Valley. They call themselves the MAD paddlers.
The length of the field as the bell's being rung on the sideline to run 95 metres to score the winning try for the South Grafton Rebels. And there's a great sporting tradition in the Patrick family, because Brett was a great paddler. He was a medalist at the Australian titles in 1983 in the cadet, which was the under-15 ski. So he's been a paddler for a long time, and a top paddler for a long time. He's probably had a couple of pies since then, since 1983. But he's still a terrific paddler, and he's got one of the best techniques of any paddler I've ever seen.
Well, Joe, we might just take a quick break. We're going to play one of our partners of the broadcast, the live stream, and we'll come back right after this.
Yamba, not just surfing and prawns. Yamba has it all: surf, seafood and golf.
Maclean Bowling Club is the venue of choice for live entertainment, functions and weekly activities. Try your hand at a game of bowls and join in the fun. Stay at our accommodation next door. Maclean Bowling Club, something for everyone.
Yes, the Maclean Bowling Club and the Yamba Golf and Country Club, two great local businesses downriver who have jumped on board to help us with our live stream this morning. It's Damo and Joe with you on the live stream through Clarence Media, and a big thank you to Emma and to Leah, who of course have helped us put this together, and of course our other partners in the Brushy Pub. Now we must be coming up near the Brushy Pub, aren't we, or are we a bit further out?
We're about 15 k's from the Brushy Pub, mate.
Right.
We're just getting into Elizabeth Island. There's a very long stretch here as we go past Ulmarra.
Right.
And then it's another 10 or 15 or 10 k's, I suppose, to the Brushgrove Hotel from there. So just another little bit of history from Grafton to Ulmarra. As we get to Ulmarra, you'll see it's about 13 k's from the Crown Hotel to the Ulmarra pub. But many years ago, when I was in primary school, my uncle Bill Doherty, who turns 94 tomorrow, by the way.
Is that right?
He swam from Grafton to Ulmarra as a fundraiser for the St Joseph's Cowper Homes.
Wow.
That was about 1984, I think it was.
That's fantastic.
I remember our school teacher took us out to the backyard from St Mary's Primary School to watch him go by and wave to him as he swam past.
94.
So, yeah, 94 tomorrow.
Wow.
But so I'm thinking that must have been 39 years ago.
Yeah.
So he must have been in his 50s. 50s when he swam from Grafton to Ulmarra.
Did I hear a rumour around town that he was going to swim from the Crown across to Susan Island?
He does it most days.
Does he? No, really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
He still does it by himself most mornings.
Wow, that is sensational. And of course, we had the gentleman that turned 110 this week in Grafton.
Beast, wasn't that great?
Absolutely, he's got a can of baked beans after him. That's how he keeps alive, just eat baked beans.
Wow. He used to live by himself up until a couple of years ago,
Yep.
until the new bridge went through and he had to sell his house to the RTA.
Is that right?
Yeah, so what a trooper.
Yeah, absolutely. 110, oldest man in Australia.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So congratulations and a big happy birthday. And I know all the residents and the staff at the Widden Retirement Village would have been celebrating with him.
I bet you they were.
They had lots of media coverage. It was all over the national news.
Was it?
Oh, absolutely. The cans of baked beans from Heinz, they actually had his face on the can.
I think.
And Ken's baked beans.
Oh, fantastic.
So
Fantastic. He used to ride his bike all around town until he was 105.
Is that right? Tell you what, if I can get that far to 105, I'll be very happy.
Oh yes, be great. He was born obviously before the First World War.
Yeah.
1913. It's a fantastic story.
So no, it's fantastic. It's some wonderful history that, of course, we've got in the Clarence Valley.
And we're coming up here to the end of Elizabeth Island. You look over there and you'll see a big white marquee. That's where Anthony Wicks and Tamara Roberts are getting married this afternoon.
Is that right?
That is. They're getting married this afternoon. I had a few beers with Ant last week at the Amber Pub as we watched the grand final. He's still smarting, I imagine, from the Broncos' victory because I think he declared the Broncos were home with about 20 minutes to go. I think the words were, the Broncos can't lose from here.
And what a game that was, Joe.
Wasn't it a fantastic game?
Unbelievable.
There was a lot of Queensland and Broncos supporters at the Amber Pub last Sunday, but as soon as the game was over, the numbers thinned very quickly. They all disappeared and went home, but hell of a game of footy.
And that magnificent marquee over there would be, of course, through Grafton High. That's their brand new one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So it's massive, like a big circus tent. You're going to say it, aren't you? The wedding's going to be like a circus? Is that what you're about to say?
Well, certainly Ant's hair's like a circus.
Oh, dear.
That looks like a great location for a wedding.
Oh, does it ever?
Yeah.
Magnificent. Now, whose property would that be?
I can't remember if he said it was theirs or they were lending it off someone, but the Gillett's own the one across the road. I'm not sure whose that is. Could be theirs. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
But it's set up magnificent.
Yeah.
We're getting a shot of that on the camera?
And not yet. We will. We'll get a shot of that, and we'll also cross over to Ben, I think, in about 5 minutes.
Excellent.
He's up there with the stand-up paddlers, which would be doing it pretty tough. I mean, to be standing up from Grafton to Maclean would be a big effort.
Oh, mate, standing up for 5 hours just on the dry lands, as it is. And we're getting a call here from our skipper, Adam Stidham, wanting to know if anyone would like a bacon and egg roll, Damo.
Yes.
I can't eat and talk at the same time, Joe. So you better have yours first,
Okay.
and then I'll have mine.
So that's an affirmative from the big Joe.
Yes, you bet.
Would you like a bacon and egg roll?
Yeah.
Make it 3.
I reckon we've got that thing working, so we'll plug it into that.
Oh, okay.
Do I just pull it out, plug it in? So okay.
Doesn't matter how soft talk, mate. We're picking you up loud and clear.
The skipper. You see the skipper, or we've got someone else doing the skipping?
Well, I'm not sure how you define the skipper. Adam owns the boat, but I think Boydie, that's Dennis Boyd, local builder, he's doing the driving.
Right, okay.
Colin.
I was going to say, because if Adam's doing the driving, he wasn't driving just then. He was halfway up the ladder.
Autopilot works a treat on these boats.
Yeah, very true. Very true. We are doing the Clarence 100 on this Saturday morning. If you've just tuned in through Clarence Media, we welcome you wherever you are watching around this great nation of ours, around this great valley of ours, or maybe you're somewhere around the world watching this. We welcome you to the mighty Clarence River. And the man who is standing next to me, Joe Fay, is no stranger to doing this. He was one of the original Clarence 100 paddlers. And can you go back to the time that you actually started doing it, Joe, and how many beers you would have sort of sunk down each time you stopped?
Well, strangely, I only did the first leg on the first one.
Is that right?
The reason being that my son Noah had a cricket carnival at a place called Cobram in Barooga.
Oh, beautiful part of the Murray River.
That's right. So I went from the Clarence River clear and pristine and clear and beautiful, and the next day I'm down at the Murray River, which is about 25 metres wide, full of mud, full of logs, full of trees. I sent the boys a photo and they said, looks like you're up Shit Creek. But anyway, no, it was a great day. The conditions were perfect on that day, and we all paddled together as a group for...
Is your power good?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. As long.
Yep. All good.
Well, yes, I spent some time down at Deniliquin. Yeah, spent some time down there at the local radio station, and we actually bought a house down there in Denny.
What's the radio station at Deniliquin, mate?
2QN.
2QN?
Yeah. So now it's on the FM bands. I'm not sure what its frequency is now.
Oh, right.
They've got an FM station down there called Classic Rock, and they changed that over to Edge because they're owned by the radio station from Wangaratta.
Oh, there you go, mate. You've obviously seen a bit of the country in your role as what would you call yourself, a DJ or a radio
DJ,
announcer?
radio announcer, you know.
All right.
Some people call me other things. Just ask Mayor Tiley. Oh, sorry, it's former Mayor Tiley.
Emma, if you look behind me, you'll see a nice, beautiful, juicy bacon and egg roll. You're a beauty.
And is this where I now need to talk, because you're going to demolish that?
That's all right, there's no rush. So there's been a big change in the Clarence this week with the new mayor, Peter Johnston, taking over from former Mayor Tiley, and the deputy mayor, I think that's Ice Cream Man, isn't it?
Ice Cream Man.
Ice Cream Man.
Jeff Smith.
Jeff Smith, he's taken over as deputy mayor.
Now, I hear that Jeff and also his lovely wife, Robin, who does our program on a Wednesday night, they're actually paddlers. They do a bit of paddling on the river.
There you go. I haven't seen them out there, but I'm there all the time, so that'd be great if they were, because it's a wonderful river, and it's aptly named the mighty Clarence River for a reason. Unfortunately, the Clarence Valley Council, at that first meeting with Peter as the mayor, passed the resolution to build a new pool, which a lot of people in town are very happy about.
Some are very happy about, others aren't.
Aren't they?
No.
What, the non-swimmers?
No, I think they're just a little bit worried about the cost of the actual project.
Everything costs money, Damo.
Yes, this is very true.
And if they remember correctly, not many people with that length of memory, but the pool was built in the 1950s in order to ensure the safety of a lot of children around town, because it was unfortunately after the Great Scouts disaster in 1943 that people decided that maybe a pool was going to be safer than swimming in the river.
Mm.
So it's a very important community asset to have a pool, and lots of children have learned to swim there over the years. We've had some great swimming champions, but more importantly, a lot of people have learned to swim at the Grafton pool, and that's a skill to be used for your whole life. As we go past great Grafton waterman Steve Herbert, he's running support crew in the rubber duck there. He's also a great paddler from days gone by. He was in fact a board paddler.
A board paddler?
Malibu board paddler.
Right.
Surf Club Malibu board paddler. He used to train, he used to paddle around Susan Island on a surf club board back in the day, part of his training regime.
All right, we're going to now just cross live to Ben, and let's see if we can have a bit of a listen to him having a bit of a chat.
Gordon Grievous, and he's one of our favourite paddlers who come every year, and we're so appreciative that you come to our events. But just scanning over now, we're coming up to the 8-kilometre mark. We have Julie Smith, and Julie, I hope she doesn't mind. I'm going to talk about Julie for a moment, try not to interfere with her. Julie is a former athlete, track and field athlete, and she's recently taken up stand-up paddling up in Brisbane, located or on the Gold Coast. Loves stand-up paddling and has attended many of the events in the last couple of years. Started out novice, devoted a lot of her spare time and her fitness time to stand-up paddling, and now she's one of Australia's most strongest female paddlers. Actually going to events, and she loves being part of the Clarence 100 as well, and we love Julie for being part of it and coming down and always trying hard. We'll let her go. Maybe the fumes from the jet ski might be affecting a few of these people. Let's see who we got out the back here. We've got a nice paddler coming up here on an ocean ski, beautiful style. Not exactly sure who that is. I'm sorry, I'm just doing a bit of camera work here. Manoeuvring. Who is this? Oh, Martina! We found her. This is Martina. I had a word to Martina. She's on an ocean ski. Martina's originally from Germany, and she's been in Australia for quite some time now. Beautiful paddling style. Look at the body twist that you can see in Martina. That's what you hope to aim for when you're paddling. Beautiful shoulder turn, paddling from the hips. Martina, we had a conversation yesterday, like everybody after the first day, ends up becoming very, very tired after the first day, and the first 10 Ks of the day two are always hard for everybody. Martina is, I think Martina's second in the women's at the moment. I think I want to find Denise Cooper, who should be up the pack somewhere. Denise, former Olympian, past Olympian, I think that's the wording. Moving over here to our right. Just going to get up behind him. He won't mind. Here on our right, orange fluoro, we've got a gentleman by the name of Jeff Broden. Now, Jeff today is paddling a surf ski, ocean ski, but Jeff is in his 60s. In the past 20 or 30 years, Jeff's been one of the most successful masters paddlers of board paddling, which is where you lie down or you kneel down on the board, you use your hands to paddle, associated with surf life saving. He's won numerous masters gold medals and state medals, and I think he's even won world masters medals in board paddling. Jeff lives at a little town called Mini Waters, and I don't know if any of you have heard of that town. Well, I won't say too much about it. It's a very, very hidden, secret coastal area, and Jeff has always wanted to do the challenge of paddle from Copmanhurst to Yamba, and this is the year for Jeff. So we decided to get out of the paddleboard, get onto the ocean ski, and here we are today. There's no way in the world that Jeff won't finish this. He's a determined character. He's as fit as a fiddle, carries no weight, lovely bloke, and it's great to have Jeff on board. Jeff, nod your head if you're going all right. Oh, we don't know. Nod your head. I don't know if I can't hear him, but I think that was all right. Go away. All right, I'll leave you alone. Okay, thanks, mate. Right, there's a big gap now between Jeff and looking back, there's about a 600 to 800 metre gap. And it looks like we've got some stand-up paddleboarders. and I'm going to zip back and catch up with them. So just take 5, let the mothership do some talking.
I think Joe, we've lost a bit of vision there from Ben, so we'll try and catch up with him again very shortly.
We're heading down the Elmara Strait. It's known as the Elmara Strait, Damo, from the end of Elizabeth Island down all the way down here. It's a magnificent stretch of river. As you can see, it's very long, very straight, and just to our right there, we've got a little red buoy because it's quite shallow there. And if anyone's going past and they stop to have a look, they might find a pair of prescription sunglasses down there that one of our co-pilots here today, Chris Doherty, lost when he turned round that buoy a while back. He had his brand new prescription glasses on, was going for a paddle with a couple of boys, chucked a right-hand turn around the buoy, went in, and that was the last we saw of his brand new prescription sunglasses. So if anyone's going past and sees them, and to grab them, and we'll use them again later. But
and wouldn't have been cheap either.
They never are.
There he is. That's Chris Doherty on screen at the moment.
Still looking for those sunglasses. And on our left, that's the Great Marlow Road, Damo. That looks like Scott Cronin's house there on the left. We're approaching Strontian Park, a couple of 100 metres downstream as well, which is a lovely stretch of the river. You've been for a drive along there?
I can't say I've been along the Great Marlow Road, but certainly the Lawrence Road plenty of times.
Yeah, right. Well, the Great Marlow Road's a little bit different, very narrow.
Right.
Very old. A few potholes in it.
A few potholes. Not much difference to the Lawrence Road.
And it comes back out at Tarra Bridge there at Southgate, so it's a nice little drive to take along the river if you've got nothing to do one Sunday afternoon.
All right, we might just see if we can cross back over to Ben, who's just behind a stand-up paddler.
We've got Michael Coyne here in front. Michael's again from the Brisbane Sub Club, and thank you, the Brisbane Sub Club. You guys are awesome. Always come down in big numbers. Mike's he's in his 60s, early 60s, and he's been paddling for race subs. He's been paddling them for a couple of years now. He's on one of the Starboard Sprint, it looks like. And, I've tried, and I do a lot of stand-up paddling. It's an extremely physical sport. You're working your glutes, your legs, your feet, your calves, your arms, your lats. And Michael's, he's doing on average probably around about 7 to 8 kilometres an hour. He'll be following these leaders who are probably the ocean skis and the kayakers. They're probably doing somewhere between 8 and 9 kilometres an hour. So it could be a lonely part of the stage for Michael. This stage, mind you, looking ahead, you can see the distance that we need to cover, and that's just to get to Elmara, which is 10k point. It's lonely. If you're on your own, it's lonely. It really plays with your mind. Will I give up? Can I give up? Or can I keep going? How much further is it to go? You're constantly questioning yourself and your own ability to paddle. For most of us, all we want to do is stop, rest, have something to eat. But these paddlers, they're committed to doing this challenge as quick as they possibly can. So a lot of them are going to be in pain before the day is out, and they'll be working through that pain. I mean, for the average paddler in the Clarence 100, today is going to be about a 5-hour paddle on the water. So, really another fun fact is that a lot of our paddlers are in their 30s and 40s. They're not young. It seems to me, from my observation, that the older you get, the better you get at endurance. And there's a couple of people in this event, in their mid 70s who are up in front, and they just love it. And they seem to battle on, and just they're strong in the mind. Endurance paddling is about strength in the mind, and I think the young people today just probably find it a little difficult. They're good for sprinting and short distance paddling, lots of power. But the longer the paddler gets, I think you really got to have a skilled and practiced mind to deal with a 5-hour effort. Signing off from here now. I'm just going to do a little check on some of the paddlers over here. I'll come back to you.
Thanks for that update, Ben. We're travelling nicely now as we come across paddler number 117. Paddler number 117 is Mr. John Stewart. I'm not sure where John's from, but he's got grey hair and he looks like he's going hard. How you going, John? He's giving us the thumbs up. He's going really well. He's right out in the middle of the river, and he might be trying to latch onto the back of the boat and get a free ride behind the waves of this boat, which is not a bad idea, given that he's a long way from home. Anyway, great for him to be out here today. Now we, on our left, I think we're just approaching Strontian Park, and I can't tell you who Strontian's named after. I don't know the Strontian that Strontian Park came from, but it's always been a great destination, good place to go gar fishing there as well, Damo. Just up here it is. And on our right's the highway, of course, just past Swan Creek. As we look to our right, we've got a double ski out in front and a single ski right behind them. And they're really stretched out. The whole crowd is really stretched out. We've got them on both sides of the river. We've got them a long way in front, a long way behind. Hopefully everyone's having a good time. And how'd you enjoy that bacon and egg roll, Damo?
Mate, anything that's free is absolutely beautiful. No, it was sensational. A beautiful... we're being looked after. This is, Big River Glass. If you need new glass in your home, then they're the people to go and see.
You bet. If you need a bacon and egg roll for Smoko,
yeah,
we look after that too.
I was going to say, Adam probably does it for the staff every day.
I heard that he does.
Yeah, yeah. You got a bit of egg on your face though. Just this bit right here. Yeah, that's it.
You sound like my daughter. She goes, Dad, usual spot.
Usual spot. Dear. No, magnificent morning out here. So we should be disembarking, what would you say, Joe, out of at Brushgrove at approximately what time do you think?
Oh, I'd say it'll be getting close to about 9:15.
All right.
When we get there.
We'll see how spot on you are.
See how we go.
And then we'll jump in the Grafton Toyota sponsored RAV4 for Loving Life and head down Big River Way. Do you trust me driving?
I've got full confidence in you, Damo.
That's good. That's good. And then we'll disembark at the Maclean Rowing Club and set ourselves up and welcome the paddlers in there.
That'll be fantastic. And we've got a couple more spectators on the riverbank over there. A couple of blokes there on the front lawn. That might be Strontian Park right there.
You could have told me that the boat was going to jump up and down then.
Yeah, when the jet ski takes off, waves come all across and knock us around.
Yeah, not wrong about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a while since I've been on a boat. I think the last time I was on a boat was on Sydney Harbour with my brother.
Oh, really? He lives down there, or he was on a cruise?
No, he lives down at Hunters Hill.
Oh, nice.
So, don't think he's got the boat anymore.
Not to worry. Yeah, mate. Just you interviewed. I see on the Loving Life FM you interview the councillors every week. Are you getting much progress with them?
Much progress with the councillors?
Yeah.
Oh, look, there are some councillors that are more than happy to have a chat and answer the questions. Some of them are, quite brutal and honest, and not brutal, but open and honest, and just say what they believe and so forth. And then there's some that, one in particular that just won't come on the radio. But that's okay. He's no longer the mayor. But Mayor Johnston was on the program the day after he got elected.
Okay.
Did you actually see that council meeting on that Tuesday?
I was away.
You were away. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was quite an interesting meeting, to say the least. That was the day that they had standing room only in the chambers, and they made the decision about the pool.
Excellent.
And look, I've got to say, the councillors and the people that were in the chambers were obviously very passionate about what they believed in. Certainly when some of the councillors were speaking against the recommendation, there were a few boos and hecklers in the chambers. But I've got to say, Mayor Johnston handled himself extremely well. First time councillor, as in the first term.
Yep.
Elected as mayor, and probably the two of the most contentious issues that this council has had to deal with. He had to chair the meeting. And
What was the other issue?
Treelands Drive Community Centre in Yamba.
Oh, okay. Yep.
They got $11 million in grant funding.
Oh, fantastic.
And there's a group in Yamba called Yamba Can who are very passionate about their community and believe that they don't need to knock down a 20-year-old building to start again. But what sort of happened is Yamba Can did some investigating and found out some information that I don't think council wanted people to know.
Right.
And a bit of a legal battle has started.
Oh, okay.
So,
Leave that one alone then, eh?
well, I mean, I had a chat with the Secretary of Yamba Can on my program on Friday morning. That certainly opened up a few can of worms.
Oh, okay.
Reached out to Mayor Johnston to get a comment, and spoke to him last night, and looking like he'll probably come on and have a bit of a chat about it next week on the program. But yeah, a cease and desist letter, Joe. If someone receives a cease and desist letter, what's that mean in legal terms?
I think it's just saying, we think you're doing something wrong and you should stop doing it.
Right.
That's in a nutshell. That's what
Okay.
I mean. Yeah.
All right.
Whether you should stop doing it depends on whether you think you're right, I suppose. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But could that then lead to defamation?
Sometimes defamation, but it might be just to do with other things as well.
Sure.
It can be sort of any topic you can ask someone to stop doing what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, Yeah.
So that is apparently what what Yamba Can had received from Clarence Valley Council as lawyers.
Right.
And yeah, so
Okay.
we'll see what happens. But no, I do enjoy talking to the councillors on a Wednesday morning. The fact that they give up their time, and sometimes the chat can go for 10 minutes, can go for 20 minutes, can go for half an hour. I just fire the questions. There's no real, well, there are no set questions. It's just they come into the studio and I fire the questions.
And over the years, mate, have there been many big names that you've interviewed? Have you interviewed any prime ministers or ministers? Or
No prime minister.
Royalty?
I've interviewed the former Premier, Dominic Perrottet.
Okay.
I've had him on the program. Chris Minns, the current Premier,
Yeah.
when he was opposition leader. I've had the Deputy Prime Minister in the studio.
The current Deputy Prime Minister?
No, not the current, the previous. That would have been.
Who was that?
It wasn't Barnaby Joyce. It was David Littleproud.
Oh, right.
Sorry, the Nationals leader, I should say.
Yep.
So I've interviewed a few. Do another bacon and egg? Sorry? Do another bacon and egg roll? No. All good, thank you. Just putting our lunch order in. But no, look, I've being a broadcaster for 30 years, I've interviewed quite a few different people over the years, which has been fantastic. We've got Joe, we got Ben on the jet skis, and he's currently right behind some paddlers. So let's go live.
One of the important things I want to point out is the fact that just get rid of that. One of the important things is the narrowness of these boats. They take turns at the back behind. At the moment, we've got Brett Greenwood who's sort of setting the pace. Murray's taking a bit of a rest, and Dimitri's taking a bit of a rest. But all of them today will have a turn up front, and it'll just rotate. What they're doing is keeping their average pace up, much like a cyclist would when they get into the slipstream of another side. They're working together as a team. Murray Davis, he's from the Newcastle area. He's a firefighter, and he's been a member of the Swansea Cave, Swansea Belmont, and Redhead clubs at certain times during his times with the surf club. And both Brett and Dimitri are Sydney-based paddlers. I think Lane Cove is their paddle club. They regularly compete in state, national titles and world masters titles. You can see now Brett's just getting some fuel into his body. He's got probably a goo gel or something similar to hanging out of his mouth. The problem with trying to get food and sustenance into you for these boys who'll be out in the water for 3.5 hours is you need two hands to paddle and one hand to eat. And generally the lead paddler will slow down if someone would like to get something to eat. Everybody needs to eat during this event. And again, similar to cycling, unwritten rules is that if someone wants to have something to eat, or all three of them do, they slow down and let that person sort of grab that sustenance. Very difficult to paddle with one arm unless you're on a stand-up paddleboard. And so I won't bother Brett and Dimitri for too long. They're concentrating on firstly keeping balance, length of stroke, any advantage they may be able to get. The only advantage today is we've got the wind coming over their right shoulder, so and also tide is moving out. Also of interest is the cadence of the paddle stroke. Cadence refers to how fast that paddle goes through the water. In general terms, we talk about cadence with counting one arm only, and I like to count my cadence with my left arm, and some people count with their right arm. The faster the cadence, the more power you're able to generate. Slower the cadence, the more powerful the stroke. They're paddling paddles somewhere in the length of about 205 and 212 centimetres long. You can see the paddle shape is of a wing paddle design. One side of the blade is designed to catch the water, the other side of the blade is designed to let the water off the blade as it exits from the water after the power phase. Well, these boys are probably getting a little annoyed at me at the moment, so I'm going to tune out. These are our front runners. We've just passed Ulmarra, which is we're now at about the 12 kilometre mark. We're approaching Brushgrove, which is the 20 kilometre mark, and we've got a gap of about 1 kilometre now between these boys and the next paddlers. I'll sign off here and head out to the ones behind us.
So big thank you to Ben, who of course out there on that jet ski, and magnificent shots that we saw there too, Joe, which were fantastic.
It was terrific. It was right behind those paddlers who were setting a cracking pace up the front. They've really stretched out along this Elmara Strait at the moment. As we look to our left, and there's a train of 5 boats there with a double ski out the front. 4 blokes slotted in behind him, getting the wash right as they go. A couple of blokes from Mooloolaba there, and Brett Patrick's, of course, he's always in the thick of things. The breeze gets up a little bit. We see the jacarandas there along the riverbank there as we come into Elmara. There's the jetty just down below the pub.
Oh yeah, beautiful part of the world, Elmara.
Is that your boat over there, Damo?
Absolutely, yep. Yeah, they pay me good money at 103.1.
No doubt. And we come up here along the left, and we're getting near to the Elmara ferry, so we'll need to be careful to go across there. But it's very shallow on that side.
On the...
Yep, you'll see the barge down there a lot, dredging all the sand just so the ferry can operate some days. Some days at low tide they have to stop because they can't get clearance under the boat to get across and back. And someone may have run aground there in their little tinny there a while back.
Are you speaking from experience?
Yes I am.
All right, so you ran aground.
Yes.
What happened? Just weren't looking where you were going, or was the river's fault?
It was a long story. It was just after the flood last year, and my tinny had got washed away. You know the tinny we saw as we went past my place? It got washed away.
Right.
And the maritime man sent me a text and said, "We found your boat downstream near the Brushgrove Hotel." So I had to borrow Adam, our skipper's other little boat, and Chris's son's motor. And we came down at 5:30 on a Friday night in the middle of June looking for my boat. And during the course of that escapade, we were going up and down actually we're towing the boat back by that stage, and my brother was with me as my co-pilot, and he was getting a bit testy because we'd been out for 4.5 hours looking for my boat, and then we ran aground just near the Lawrence ferry at 9 o'clock at night.
Oh no, I know, that's and Dan wouldn't have been very happy.
He still hasn't forgiven me.
No. I didn't actually realise he was your brother.
Oh, didn't you?
No, I didn't put the two together.
You couldn't tell by the curly hair?
No, not really.
Oh,
No. So
Or the surname?
I didn't take any much notice actually. I didn't take much notice. So he's a bit of a performer. He's involved, of course, with the Criterion.
Yeah, loves the Criterion.
Yeah.
Pelican players, and I think he's in the orchestra for the Greg Butcher Orchestra.
Oh, okay, coming up. Yep.
Coming up, yeah.
So are you musical as well?
Unfortunately not.
No.
I'd love to be, no.
You'd love to be.
Yeah. Can't hold a tune.
Okay, that makes 2 of us. I used to be in the Young Sydney Singers in Sydney.
Young Sydney Singers?
Yeah.
What were they?
A boys' choir.
Yeah.
Yeah. We performed at the old entertainment centre in Sydney for the seniors concert, the Premier Seniors concert. Where else? We performed at the reenactment of the tall ships coming into Botany Bay at the Bicentenary in 1988.
Yeah.
That was when I was 11.
Boy soprano.
I think they just need to make up the numbers.
You weren't in the Ella Jones category.
No. But I do remember actually singing on stage at the entertainment centre, and John Laws was the MC for the actual Premier Seniors concert.
Is that what gave you inspiration to be a radio announcer?
I think I was already doing radio by then at the age of 11, or I was sort of leading.
Really?
Yeah.
What station were you broadcasting?
It was 2RRR FM at Ryde Regional Radio in Sydney.
Ryde Regional Radio.
Yep. So nowadays they're on Victoria Road at Huntley's Point.
Yep.
In the old Henley Cottage. But when I first started with them, we were broadcasting from a garage at the Meadowbank TAFE in Sydney. And then when I actually joined them, they were in the midst of going between Meadowbank TAFE location and Henley Cottage, and we had an old caravan. And
sounds like the original Wayne's World.
Yeah. And the caravan was the studio. I'll never forget and I've still got my very first show on cassette.
You'll see here on our left, a couple of paddlers have actually run aground there. They got in too close to the bank.
Oh dear, that's not good.
They have run aground. You can see the sandbank jutting out quite significantly here. And these paddlers might have to watch themselves because we've had to come up to the left, take a shortcut across the river, but they'll find now that they'll need to go over to the right. It might cost them, that'll cost them a few minutes as everyone catches up. And there's an even bigger boat over to our right.
That is a big boat. Wonder who owns that.
I'm not sure. It looks like an old patrol ship.
I was going to say an old army ship.
Might be the old HMAS Hammersley.
Yeah, that's come down. We're just going to get a bit of a picture of that, I think.
Yeah, so it's very picturesque as we go past Almara. It's a beautiful village, beautiful town.
There we go. There's the mighty boat. It's not a warship from another country that's coming to take over, is it?
I'm sure Tony Abbott would have stopped that boat a long time ago, wouldn't he?
you would have hoped so. You would have hoped so. All right, I think we might see if we can now hit the pause button and head over to Ben, who's on the water on the jet ski.
And we asked him, Chris, how are you going to get back to Grafton, where your car is? And after paddling 40 Ks and having lunch at the Maclean Hotel at 3:30 in the afternoon, he said to us, well, I'm going to paddle. And geez, all of us kind of looked at each other and gone, no, there's no way in the world you're going to paddle back. He would have been paddling against the wind, another 40 kilometres, 80 kilometres in one day, and after having a large lunch at the Crown Hotel, that was his first experience of the Clarence 100. We managed to get him a lift and get him back to Grafton so that he was able to complete day 3 the next day from Maclean to Yamba without having to do that extra 40 kilometres. But, you know, he's now in 7th position. Blue life jacket, you can just see in front. I'll just get up a little closer. One step down so they don't introducing too much focus up 7-4. We're now approaching 7, 8, and 9. We're now at about the 12 to 15, 12 to 13 K mark. Signing off, back to the mothership. Now we've just had a look at 7th, 8th and 9th place getter about, I'd say about 300 metres behind 7th, 8th and 9th. There's a pack of about 5 or 6 paddlers, all on ocean skis. If we get up close, we might be able to identify a few of them. I'm really looking for Denise Cooper, who should be in that pack. I'll say something about her when I find her. Denise, here we are. Denise has got the dark cap on, closest to us. She's got the gang back together on the river. She's on the Fennel League. Now, Denise Cooper is one of the most accomplished female paddlers here in Australia. She is a past Olympian. She's part of the Australian female K4 team. And she's also a 3-time in a row winner of the Clarence 100. She knows how to pace this event. She knows what it's all about. There she is with the boys, mixing it with them. She's in her early 60s. She's looking good. When she's not paddling ocean ski, she's paddling outriggers, and she lives at Ballina. We love Denise. We love her coming down. Yesterday she posted an unbelievable time. I would say there would be very few females in Australia who can go with Denise, particularly in her age level. She's the first female in the kayaking ocean ski category that we've seen so far. And as you can see, she's on the right-hand side of that group of paddlers, and the wind is coming over the right-hand side. Well, she's there for a reason. She's getting as much advantage over that chop, which seems to be coming over their right quarter shoulder. She seems to be looking at it. She's an experienced paddler. She knows how to paddle in windy conditions, so she's getting as much advantage as she possibly can. She's just currently taking the draft on the double kayak in front, and she's in great spirits, and that's the main thing. She's always happy to sail over, and she's tough. So I've got a feeling if everything goes to plan, she could be winning this event for a 4th time, and that's an extraordinary effort, particularly given her age. And she really hands out a good experience to a lot of young paddlers, female paddlers out there, that age should not deter anybody from getting involved with the water, and particularly paddling. Just sign off and see how far it is to our next pack of paddlers.
Maclean Bowling Club is the venue of choice for live entertainment, functions and weekly activities. Try your hand at a game of bowls and join in the fun. Stay at our accommodation next door. Maclean Bowling Club, something for everyone. Maclean Bowling Club is the venue of choice for live entertainment, functions and weekly activities. Try your hand at a game of bowls and join in the fun. Stay at our accommodation next door. Maclean Bowling Club, something for everyone.
All right, a couple of our fantastic partners in the broadcast on live stream in the Maclean Bowling Club, along with, of course, the Yamba Golf and Country Club, the Crown Hotel, the Brushgrove Hotel, where we're actually disembarking from. Got to say a big thank you to Toast, who, Joe, of course, no doubt you'd be a regular customer there, getting your morning latte, I would imagine.
I'm a green tea man. I go there
No.
Fridays.
Is that right? A green tea?
Green tea.
What's a green tea do for you, Joe?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Right. Okay.
Keeps you healthy on the inside, mate. A bit like the old All brand from Herb Elliott days.
So is that what I need to do? A bit
Mate,
of green
it is.
tea and Nutrigrain?
Green tea. I'll give the Nutrigrain a bit, mate.
All right.
Mate, too much sugar in that.
Yeah, okay.
But interesting thing we just missed there while Benny was that the about a dozen paddlers had to pull up and wait as the Elmara ferry pulled across in front of them. They were on collision course there for a little while, but certainly they exercised the appropriate discretion and stopped paddling.
Oh.
And gave way to the big metal thing.
when they're bigger, that's exactly what you got to do, isn't it?
Yes.
So, but yes, it certainly is a little bit chilly up here on the top deck of this magnificent boat that we've been able to borrow from Big River Glass.
Certainly is, but the wind's really right behind these paddlers as we come down almost to the end of the Elmara Strait, and we'll be heading towards the Brushgrove Strait shortly, mate.
Right, okay.
Yes, just a big sweeping bend round to the right
Yes.
for the next 8 or 9 kilometres will get us right to our destination.
So just explain for those that, if they can, we'll get a wide shot in a moment of the whole river, but when we sort of get to that strait, we're going to go to the right, and we're going to go down obviously the right arm of the river.
Yep.
And go along Big River Way.
Yep.
But we could also go the other side, which would take us past the actual Lawrence Tavern
Yes.
and along that way.
Yes, yeah. So the right side will take us past Tyndale.
Yep.
All the way, snake our way through there. It's a bit narrower, and certainly a bit more protected out of the wind. And then the north arm takes you past, I suppose, Lawrence, past the Larwell, past the Broadwater, and then brings you on to Maclean from the other direction.
So being on the big boat that we are, obviously this wouldn't be able to get down the narrow part of that river the paddlers are going.
I thought it was because Adam had something to do this afternoon.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, but certainly it would probably create a big disturbance wave-wise and wash-wise.
Sure.
Going through down the South Arm.
Yeah. So that's okay. We'll disembark. We'll pack the car and get on our merry way down to Maclean Rowers and then set ourselves up again and welcome the paddlers in. Hopefully we'll beat them.
They're going pretty quick at the moment. The ones out in front are a mile ahead. They have absolutely brained the rest of the field. There'd be a couple of kilometres in front there'll be maybe 4 or 5 kilometres from start to finish already.
It's a big stretch, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a lot of wind there today. The waves in the river are quite significant. But anyways, we're downstream from Ulmarra now. We're heading on the left at B. We're getting towards Lower Southgate.
Yep.
We're probably just near. I'm just trying to work out where those trees are. Anyway, we're getting not as far down as Teddy Pearce's place or Kevin Dowse's old place, so we've got a few k's before we get down there.
Geez, I'm glad that you've come aboard today. You know everyone. You know everyone's property. You know who they are. You know where they were born. You know how old they are.
Well, strangely, we used to have a farm down here. Mum had a farm down here back in the 80s.
Is that right?
Yeah, at Lower Southgate, and Kevin Dowse was next door. Don and Maureen Enders were on the other side. Landbrook Stud they were called. Who else was there? Oh, plenty of old farmers from down this way. It was just this side of Kelsall's Hill. The names haven't changed much in the last 30 or 40 years. See, we wouldn't be far from the Big River Dairy.
Yes. Yep. Is that still running these days?
I don't know. I think so.
Big River Milk was the
Big River Milk.
Yeah.
I saw some dairy cows there the other day when I went past. So I presume it's still operating.
I think it got sold and then new people bought it and they sort of didn't go as well as they were hoping, and then I think it changed hands again. I saw a Norco sign on the gate, so.
Yeah, right, okay. Well, we're moving into a drought, so it's going to be tough for anyone, dairy farmers or beef farmers at the moment.
I think I'm going to need to sit down. My legs are getting a bit wobbly.
You're not getting seasick, are you?
No, not seasick. No, just getting old. You see, Joe.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Kick back. We might need another bacon egg roll. Or maybe a chai latte or something with green tea.
A green tea. I don't think the captain's taking his jacket off and he's just sitting up there with Mr. Doherty and just enjoying the breeze through his hair.
And why not?
So,
why not?
But
lovely. Now, do we know where all the paddlers have come from? I know there's a few from Mooloolaba and the Sunshine Coast. There's a couple from Sydney. There's a couple of ex-Graftonians who've come back. There was talk of a bloke from Western Australia, but I'm not sure who that was. So I can't help you there.
I'm not sure.
I went nowhere with that.
Well, we could just make it up.
Yeah. Let's say Marie Murray's from Western Australia. How about that? Yeah.
Well, I was going to say South Australia being Murray and the Murray River.
Oh, yeah, right. We'll run with that.
Oh, dear. We're giving away our trade secrets.
Yes.
So the Grafton Ghosties have got their presentation coming up on the 20th of October at the Jacker.
Righto.
So no doubt they'll be looking forward to the new season, put the 2023 behind them.
They went all right. They didn't quite go as well as they would have liked, but they went all right.
No, yeah. And I know the Rebels have got their presentation this coming Friday night at the South Services.
Oh, terrific.
So they did all right this year. Not as good as what they did the previous year, because obviously they had 3 teams in the grand final. But changing of the guard, new president of the South Grafton Rebels as well.
Oh, is who's the new president?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I'll come back to you on that.
Right,
Yep.
that's good. But the clubs, both the clubs are in good spots.
They are.
Positions. Yeah, the Ghosts and the Rebels. It's a good football town, Grafton.
Yeah, it is. And I remember, when I was first in Grafton 25 years ago, I used to referee and also touch judge.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah. So you might have been playing.
I only played in the juniors, mate.
Okay.
And that was in the 80s again.
Oh, okay. No. No, that wasn't it. I refereed the juniors. So I think on the Saturday, I'd have to go to. I think I remember going to Evans Head to referee up there, and then come back in the afternoon to touch judge down at Maclean Showground.
Oh, okay.
So that was.
Were you a one-eyed ref?
No, not a one-eyed ref at all. Yeah, we might see if we can switch over to Ben and see what he's up to. There we go. We'll just turn that back up. I think Ben's on a mission. I can see our preview camera is going fairly fast at the moment, so we won't make you seasick as you're watching at home. Quite an overcast day, Joe. That's the thing that I'm quite surprised with. The sun is starting to shine through now, and making the water very glary, but very overcast.
It certainly is. We haven't seen clouds around for a while. We're not expecting any clouds till about March by the long-range weather forecast, but hopefully there might be a little bit of rain in the clouds today with a bit of luck.
Fingers crossed. I mean, that's what we're hoping for. 22 degrees atop today, and the outlook for tomorrow 23, and then 25 degrees, 24 degrees on Monday, 27 for Tuesday and Wednesday, and 30 by Thursday and Friday. So certainly not like the heat wave we had just the other week.
Wasn't it warm, mate? Wasn't it warm? Air conditioning at Life FM studio?
Yeah, there is actually.
Oh,
yeah, we just put new temperature gauges in the studios because we were finding that it was sort of getting a bit warm in there.
Okay. So
we did that. We've actually spent quite a bit of money on updating our equipment to try and get things a bit more steady.
Excellent.
So. Going A-OK, and without the sponsors of the radio station, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we've been able to do. So we're very fortunate. There's lots of local businesses that have put their trust in their local community radio station to promote their business.
Fantastic. We look to our right here. We've got one of the paddlers. He's paddling on his own, which is pretty tough at this time of the day. You've got about 15 kilometres under your belt. You're not getting a wash ride. You've got no one to talk to. You're a long way from home still, so he's going well though. He's paddling strongly. He's out in the middle of the river. He's getting the runs with the waves, and he's probably trying to catch up to that crew in front of him, but I'd say the pack behind him is more likely to catch up to him because, there's paddlers to his right.
Closer to the bank by the looks of things.
Yes, and it looks like he's heading over there a bit now as the river sweeps to the right. You need to be along that right-hand side.
Yep. And they're very spread out, the paddlers at the moment. This is the amazing thing. You've got your leaders at the pack, and of course we actually had even earlier paddlers take off before 7 o'clock. I don't know what Ben described them as the fast paddlers or the stragglers.
The social paddlers.
The social paddlers.
One of those was Brendan O'Mahony, who used to be a policeman here in town. He was, you may remember back in the 80s again, there was a quadrathon they used to run.
A quadrathon?
A quadrathon. It used to be a swim in the river about 2 kilometres, followed by I think it was a 80-kilometre ride.
Right.
Followed by an 18-kilometre paddle around both the islands in the river.
Yes.
Topped off with a 20k run to finish.
Wow.
It was a magnificent event. Went for about 3 or 4 years, and I remember Brendan O'Mahony, when he was about 17 or 18, did the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, how many times did you go in the actual event?
Nil.
Nil. Right. Okay. I thought you might have.
I might have done a swim leg once.
The swim leg. Yes.
Yeah. So it was a great event, the old quadrathon. They got hundreds of starters for that.
Okay.
It was huge. Back when those big long distance races were sort of the flavour of the month.
Well, I remember, or just seeing some pictures of the bridge to bridge, the ski race, and you used to see all the boats lined up again along the bank and even across at Susan Island and so forth. So it was always a huge event.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I'm not quite sure what happened with it this week.
I think it was the case of they didn't get enough competitors. I know last year they sort of struggled a little bit, and I think it just got to a point where, well, do they take the challenge on running with what they had, or do they try and come back bigger and better in 2024?
Fair enough.
So we did a live streaming event last year of the ski race over the 2 days, which was a challenge in itself. We had the big Loving Life marquee, and then it decided to take off and flip backwards as we're live to air. But we that was interesting to say the least.
Well, let's hope the wind doesn't get up and flip us over here, mate. Otherwise, we're in real trouble.
Yes, you're not wrong about that. Not wrong about that. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and I was going to wear tracksuit pants, but my wife reminded me that if you wear tracksuit pants and you fall overboard, you're not going to be able to float because you're in tracksuit pants. So I opted to just wear the shorts, and now I'm regretting that. For the only time I get to listen to my wife, and she says don't wear tracksuit pants, and I probably should have worn tracksuit pants.
And you're up here shivering.
Oh no, it's all good.
And there's a lovely house and riverbank on our right there. Look at that. That's a cracking spot.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, well kept lawns, nice little beach, nice little boat ramp, plus a wharf.
A few paddle boats in there as well, up on the grass.
Yeah. A couple of flame trees and silky oaks.
Yeah.
As well.
I think we've got to give a bit of a wave so everyone can see who we are.
Where are we looking?
Well, we were looking up there. See? Look at the TV screen.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
that's
there
it. Oh dear. That's why I'm on radio, Joe. Got a face for radio.
That's the way.
Yeah. So no one can generally see what I look like. I can wear my pajamas to work. In fact, earlier this year, I had to have a neck operation, and I was in Royal North Shore for 10 days, and when I eventually got everything's okay, got back, and Robin Smith again, she filled in for 3 weeks on the Breakfast Pro Show and did a magnificent job, and then I was just missing it too much, so I set myself up a studio on the kitchen table at home and did the breakfast show from home.
Fantastic, the genuine breakfast show from your breakfast table.
It was. Trying to make sure that everyone was quiet in the house and the dog didn't bark. So everything was okay. But it's amazing how technology, not only radio and TV, but even on boats and even the paddlers and so forth, different technology, how it changes over the years. I remember back in the day, to do an outside broadcast on radio, you'd have to book landlines with Telstra. You'd have to test this and test that. Well, nowadays it's a flick of a switch. You use the internet. As long as the internet's working, you're fine.
Any 5-year-old kid can do it.
Well, pretty much. And I guess that's what we're doing today has never been done before in the Clarence Valley.
Oh, right.
Doing this live stream on top of a boat, and also the jet ski, to bring this event to not only people watching around the Clarence Valley, but this is going to go across the world.
Fantastic, showing off the big river, or Burriimba as they used to be called.
Very much so. Don't know if you can see in the picture Ben going past on the jet ski.
And I can see the tip of Woodford Island there, so it looks like we're getting reasonably close to Brushgrove.
Okay, so we're not. Well, you weren't far off, Joe. We're 8:41. You said 9:15.
Yeah.
So about half an hour's time, we'll be switching off this particular part of the stream, and then there's another link that has been put up on social media and our websites, and you'll be able to then click on that, and then that will come live once we hit Maclean.
Right.
So we'll be on a different stream. Just one of those things that because we've got to unload the boat,
All right.
we can't still broadcast as we're.
We may or may not get to Maclean before the first paddlers get there.
Oh, we'll get close, I think.
Yeah, okay.
I think I can drive fast.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going past Lower Southgate now. I think that is. Yeah, that's Mum's old farm over there. We're directly opposite my mum's old farm.
Oh,
It
fantastic.
was 20 kilometres directly from Grafton on the Southgate Road. And then must be getting pretty close to where we found that boat with my brother Dan that day.
That he never let you live down.
Oh dear.
Next time I see him in the chemist, I have to say, so how was your boat trip? Finding Joe's boat.
I said, Dan, we'll just duck down. We'll be no more than half an hour back and return. Anyway, we got back at 10 o'clock that night, and
He wasn't happy.
he had a packet of chips. I'm sure he had the chips.
Well, I had an interesting event happen to me just the other week. We were all over at the shopping centre. This is the night of Monster Truck, so we had to go to get some new chairs so we could sit down and so forth. So we're over at the shopping centre. I was carrying stuff back to the car, my wife, mother-in-law and daughter. So I put my phone on the back of the ute on the tonneau cover, put everything in the car, jumped in. We're driving over the new bridge, BCF, to get the new chairs, and I go, where's my phone? I've gone, oh no, it was on the back of the tonneau cover. So we've all jumped back in the car, driven back over to Shopping World, had a look around, went to centre management, no one's handed it in, driven back across the new bridge to sort of trace our steps and so forth. And then I remember, because I'm a driver for Market Rabbit Rideshare, we've got a special app on our phones, don't we? So he can actually track where we are. I said, Mark, can you track where my phone is, please? He said, it's near the water's edge on the new bridge. So we ended up having to go for a bit of a walk, and we found it. Yep, and the only thing that's wrong with it is a little chip in the corner.
Ride the rabbit.
Yep.
Rabbit Rideshare.
0455 700 300.
And what do you do that after you finish work?
I do it in my spare time. Not all the time. No, just Mark needs some drivers, and I sort of started doing it last year and quite enjoyed it. You meet all sorts of different people.
You do the late Friday night.
Oh, good. No. No, I'm not a nighttime driver. I'm happier to do the morning shifts. I did. If you wanted to, earn some extra money, you got a clean driving record, and you got a clear police check. Then get in contact with Mark, and a bit of extra money for Christmas.
Excellent. We look to our right now. We've got a group of 4 paddlers, and they're really starting to get a bit of head of steam up here. The tide's really starting to work its way out strongly, and they're just out of the breeze, so they're probably. Yeah,
No sharks?
Not that I'm aware of, mate.
No.
Not that I'm aware of. We swim every Friday morning, and people I laugh at the coffee shop you go after, and they go, "Oh, aren't you scared of sharks? Isn't it too dangerous?" Then you look around, and there's one bike rider who's busted his shoulder last week, and one's had a fractured skull. I go, "Oh yeah, that cycling's really safe, mate. That's real safe." Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay, so we're only about a kilometre or so from the Brush Grove Hotel on the bridge there, maybe 1,500 metres.
So so we might disembark early. Is that what you're saying?
Could be.
Oh, okay.
We look behind us, and they're a long way back. They're a couple of kilometres back, those tail enders. So at least they got the wind with them. Any sign of Ben at the moment?
I think we're just trying to see if we can get him on screen.
The checkpoint up here, it's one of the safety aspects of the race. Is you've got to check in at the halfway mark. Just give them your name and number, and they'll tick you off to make sure you've at least made it to halfway.
Right. And what I like about the fact that you've got, okay, Ben's obviously doing the filming for us as well today, but obviously being on the jet ski, he's making sure that the competitors are safe. You've got the safety boat that has sort of been behind us. He's been looked after. He got himself a bacon and egg roll.
Yeah, he'd be struggling to keep Herbie away from the bacon and egg rolls.
Pulled up beside the boat, and bacon and egg roll just gets handed over.
Well, Herb's been doing that for a long time. He's always been a safety boat man.
Okay.
Since about the second one, I think. We didn't really have a safety boat.
In the first one?
Withdraw that. It wasn't an official race. It was just a couple of blokes going for a paddle. So Herb's always been a great helper when it comes to this particular race. And Ben's always big on safety. Everyone's got to wear their life, what do they call them? I call them life jackets. They've got a new name now, PFDs, personal flotation
Oh, really?
devices. Yeah.
Right, okay.
They're compulsory, and when you're paddling your canoe in the river nowadays, it's quite a big fine if you don't wear them.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Like $500.
So should we be...
No, if you're paddling by yourself after dark, or you're paddling, I think it's if you're paddling alone.
Right.
Or in a sanctioned event. Something along those lines. Anyway, I think it's cheaper to drink dry than to go paddling without a dive.
We don't encourage that though.
No, we don't.
But if you happen, I know a good lawyer.
Some days.
Oh dear. How long have you been a lawyer, Joe?
Oh, since 1996, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
27 years.
All here in Grafton?
Probably had a year in Port Macquarie and a year in Yamba, but generally otherwise,
Yep.
yeah, here.
Obviously enjoy what you do.
I do. Yeah, I do.
It'd be a tough gig. I know,
Oh. When you find something you like, it's pretty good fun.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. So
Indeed.
try to explain to someone you don't always do it for the money, you do it because you love it.
Yes.
You know, if you enjoy the job that you do, it's not really a job.
That's right. It helps if you get a feed out of it, though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so we're going to weave our way through a couple of these very nice-looking yachts up ahead. None of these yours still?
No, none of mine.
Yeah.
None of mine.
And you, Emma? Any of these yours, mate?
No. I think Leah might own one.
We might do a bridge jump while we're here, mate. What do you reckon?
A bridge jump, even off the top.
Yeah, off the top.
Off the top.
You'd be good for a backflip or a 1.5.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, this is where we're actually disembarking. This is the Brushgrove Bridge, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're not going through the bridge. We're I think this side of the...
Oh, okay.
So we're disembarking on the right-hand side, opposite the pub.
Righto, just in front of the old church. I think the old church is there.
Yeah.
I think that's the scene of the original Cowper homes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, the Brushy Pub, one of our great supporters of today's live stream, along with the Maclean Bowling Club and the Yamba Golf and Country Club, the Crown Hotel, of course, where we started from. Toast, who opened up early, and of course Farmer Lou's. Tell you what, Farmer Lou's, did they put on some great specials or what?
Haven't the avocado's been fantastic there for the last month?
Absolutely.
Cheap and just firm and delicious.
And do you know what? They had 500 gram punnets of strawberries the other week for 99 cents.
You're kidding.
Right? You go into the big supermarkets, you get half the size, 250 grams, I want to charge you $3.
I know, mate. I know.
Like, why would you go to the big supermarket when you go to somewhere like Farmer Lou's, a locally owned and family operated business for so many years,
Yes.
that gives so much back to the local Grafton and South Grafton and Clarence Valley communities?
That's fantastic. They're a great shop. They've really brought the main street of South Grafton alive when they moved over there.
Certainly have.
And it's, the tuckers there is fantastic.
Now, there's only one thing, Joe. I just hope that there weren't any criminals out in Brushgrove last night. Because I parked the car down here last night outside the school. And I'm hoping and praying that the car's still there.
Right as rain, mate. You'll be right as rain.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to have to go for a walk. Because I was told we're going to disembark on that side.
I think we are.
Are we?
We'll see. We'll
Because
just wait and see.
the car's up there.
We'll be right. You might get one of these trawlers down there, mate, catch a couple of kilo of prawns on your way
That'd be
down.
nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Righto. Well, the first crew's already gone through and under the bridge, and they're well downstream already as we get to the thing. But the second bunch, or the third bunch there, with about 4 paddlers, is just about 250 metres from the bridge now.